And Mr. Lax, how can policy change help promote a cultural shift to lower emission transportation alternatives, and what can be done to influence these choices amongst those who love their cars?
Well, Ann answered part of that question in that a policy that emphasizes educating the public, letting the public become more aware of all the options, and giving the public the information that they need so that they can make the proper choices. From a policy perspective, what we can do is we can set the direction in which the state is going to go, so that we, in our particular case, we can support and encourage the use of all of the alternative fuels and all of the alternative vehicles at this stage. We're at the early stage and at the cusp of where we can transition into the alternative world, or the clean energy world, or the green economy, as everyone's been talking about.
It sounds to me like a common challenge is that we're trying to educate people and trying to change a way of life, really. So what do you see as some of the biggest barriers in this movement? And also, how are public and private entities working together to try and overcome these barriers?
I'll let you go.
We've been fortunate enough to actually have funding from NCDOT, congestion mitigation air quality funds, that are available to 24 counties in North Carolina that do not meet the national ambient air quality standards. So with that funding, we've been able to provide financial assistance to both public sector and private sector applicants to install things like, for example, E85 stations, which is a high blend of ethanol, or put in compressed natural gas stations, or buy hybrid bucket trucks, or hybrid buses, or passenger vehicles. So that's one way, bringing down the cost barrier. As I mentioned earlier, with such an investment as, the buying a car next to buying a house is the biggest decision most individuals, and same with government. I mean, the cost of transportation keeping us going is quite a bit, and if you can bring down that price premium, that's a big that's a big help.
Yeah.
And dispelling some of the myths too, because with any new technologies, there's a lot of naysayers, and because people are used to the tried and true, and we've been running on petroleum for a good part of past 100 years, and so people are very familiar with that.
Yeah.
I think for transit, it's outreach and education, and to some degree dispelling the myths that can be associated with transit. Public transportation is for everyone. It's not only for the individual who's low income or whatever. It's for everyone. I think if you go to Charlotte and get on their light rail system, I mean that's I think a wonderful testament to the diversity of individuals who use public transportation. I don't think people often realize or stop to think about what it actually costs to operate a vehicle. About 18 cents of every dollar is spent on transportation, and the majority of that is on fuel and maintenance of your vehicle. So if you stop to think about that, really take some time to think about it, I think more people would look to alternative forms of transportation.
I wanted to make actually a quick plug for transit, because I've just started riding the bus I live in Carborough and commute to Raleigh every day, and even though I drive a Prius, and it gets great fuel economy, I just put on so many miles, and now there's a terrific express bus. I ride it for free, being a state employee. I mean, it is a tremendous benefit, and I can work on my BlackBerry, I can talk to somebody, I can read a magazine, and it takes the total stress out of out of the commute, which I used to dread.
And the cost of that service is actually paid by the Department of Administration with the parking fees that we pay every month for our parking spaces.
Well, that's great.
And the other part is what we do is we make the public part of the process. When we go through a comprehensive planning process, we have the public hearings, and we encourage people to submit their requests. Let us know what you're trying to do, so that we can include not only you, but your recommendations into the system. I mean, we may be the smartest people in the world, but we don't have all the ideas.